all right. What's going on, guys? How are you today? Welcome to the Rouser World Caricature Art live stream. Just wanted to say good morning to you guys. I hope everybody's doing well this morning. Uh, had a long night last night. Last night I got to draw at it was kind of like a big festival that they have downtown in my city. So we have like a thing called the art walk. So basically, it's like all these vendors selling food, selling their arts and craft stuff. Um, and we had musicians. I got a couple of videos last night, which I haven't gotten a chance to upload yet, but I'll upload those videos for you guys uh, here in the near future. So what are we going to be doing today? We're going to be talking about caricature and how to make a living as a caricature. This is something that someone I've been getting a lot of questions about. Like, what is it? How is my setup? What do I? All these questions that I've been asked about pretty much setting up caricature and how do we get into something like this. So I'm going to go ahead and address those issues as well while I am on the live stream today. So and while we're doing that, we'll also be doing some caricature pictures. Okay, so we're going to I guess get a little warm-up exercise in. I like to, as my warm-up exercise, you'll see over here or above my screen here that I'll have some basic shapes. So we're just going to kind of go through and draw some of these basic shapes out. You can use a pencil, a pen, whatever you have there. All of it works, right? And so we want to get a couple. Let me get me a pencil out here, one with an eraser on it. Okay, and I probably need to go get my pencil sharpener from my room. I actually left it over there, but it's whatever, right? All right, and also, guys, if you, while we're going through the stream or whatever, this is what I do full time. So if you feel like you're benefiting from the information and stuff, tips are appreciated. Thank you in advance. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with our little warm-up exercise. Let me just move this cord out of the way because it's like totally distracting me right now. All right, let me just move it over here. All right, and let's get a little music here. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. So we're going to start by drawing this first row. So we're going to start with a circle. And what this is doing, it might seem like a exercise that's not needed, right? But it very much is, because what it teaches you how to do is, number one, to draw things without having to go back and erase them. You know what I mean? And so shapes are a simple way, and no matter what you're drawing, it's always going to just be this basic shape. So let's just go ahead through this and draw these shapes. So this first shape that we have here is our circle. Then we're going to draw a triangle. All right, then we're going to draw a square, and then we have a pentagon. We're going to also draw a hexagon, which is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-sided figure right there. Okay. All right. Then we have a octagon. So octagons are, you might want to think about a stop sign, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And by the way, all of these, while we're doing this, and since we're talking about how to make a living as an artist, a caricature artist, one of the things that you have to do is practice. Okay. And that's a no-brainer, but sometimes I guess it's a human tendency to try to want the payoff without the work. So you have to put in work like this, do little exercises to make your hand better. You know what I mean? So this is how you improve your hand and your strokes and your lines, just by drawing basic shapes like this. Okay. So let's continue. We're going to go with a rectangle. These shapes are also very good for head shapes. Okay. Because after all, This is all a caricature is. It's one of these shapes with some features in the inside. So this is our rectangle. Then we're going to have another shape here called and let's go down, a trapezium shape, okay? So that's a shape kind of like this. The trapezium kind of looks like a little cup almost, right? So we're going to do that there. All right. Then we have a parallelogram, one of my favorite shapes, okay, which kind of looks like a box like this, but it's kind of pushed over to the side. So we'll do something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right. Let me see. Now, what is this? We got a diamond shape here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And let's see here. What else do we have? Oh, we got an eclipse, which is basically an oval turned sideways. So it looks like a little shape like that. Okay. All right. Let me see. All right, what other shape do we have here? We got one under here. This is a good shape. We got our heart shape right here. All right. And by the way, guys, we just incurred basically a huge bill. I had a situation with the roof of my house, and so we're having to replace it. So we've been reaching out to our fans to help us out with that. If you guys want to help us out with that, you can donate through Cash App, which if you're on Rouser World already, it's just $Rouser World. So I'll put that up here for you or somewhere. Well, we'll figure it out in a minute, but I'll give you guys all the information in case you want to donate toward that. By the way, thank you, my friend, for donating last week. We had somebody donate $20. So we're $20 closer to our goal. So thank you so much for helping with that. So I think we're trying to, between the different resources and channels, we're trying to raise about basically $17,200 is what it's going to cost us to get the roof replaced. So yeah, I was literally renting in my office the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? We got an older house, so. Okay, so this is a teardrop, I guess, right? And then we have also an arrow shape. So we're going to be using these with our caricatures today. So I hope that you're drawing along with me. Okay, let me see. And we got our diamond shape, right? So that's this shape right here. Okay. And then what other shape do we have down here that looks like it will come in handy? We have a kite shape. That's a cool shape. Okay. And then what else we have here? We got so many shapes, right? And then we have this one might come in good too. This is a person shape, right? So it's like a little round little head here, right? And then it's like a little body shape that does like this. So it looks like the silhouette of a person. Okay. All right. And I think that those are all the shapes that we'll really kind of be focusing in on today. We're not going to do a whole great deal of these. Let me see. Let me look here. Oh, okay, wait a minute. We got one more shape here. We got an arc. Okay. All right. And that's it. Oh, one more. Semicircle. Forgot. That's this shape here. And if I'm also on YouTube, guys, so I know you guys on Facebook, you might not be able to see the references that I'm drawing this from, but that's okay. As long as you can see my picture, it should be good there. So, all right. So we got our semicircle, and I think, one more shape. God, I keep seeing the ones that did. We got two more shapes, actually. We got a crescent, right? Which, if you think of a crescent moon, right? And then we have a shield. And I promise you, I think that's going to be the last one. Okay? So these are some very powerful shapes that you need to understand how to draw in order to do a caricature. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. So we have 21 basic staple shapes that we're going to be focusing on for our caricatures, okay? So when you're drawing a face, you know, you want to make a living at doing this, you have to get good at identifying which basic shape is the shape that you're drawing over here, right? Okay, so as we're looking at this face right here, okay, what I can do is take a pencil or my marker here, and I over the years I've trained myself to look at, well, what is it exactly that I'm drawing based off of my shape list here. Okay, so how many sides does this face have? Well, it has this many. It has, let me show you, 1, 2, okay, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so let's go back again. Let me make that line a little thicker for you because it looks a little, so you can see it more. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. In other words, she had these are going to be this is going to be the basic shape of my face. So let's see what has 6 sides here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we have a shape here that could possibly work as our thing. So what we're going to do is kind of turn it. I know you can't think of it like this, but we're going to turn the shape kind of sideways so that, let's go ahead and put our paper over here. And we're going to do this kind of robotically at first, okay? Because you're going to need to understand this in a really basic raw form before we get into showing you like all the other steps, all right? So let's see here. Okay? We're going to turn the shape sideways so that this part of the shape is on top. You get what I mean? That's what we're doing here. So we're drawing the shape literally in this formation instead of this formation. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what we can do here. All right, so we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this shape down here, right, we're going to make a little shorter, right, because we don't want it to be too wide. 5, but we want it to be a flat shape. 6, okay, because remember, this is about not exactness, but it is about close but close enough, kind of like, you know what I mean? You kind of making an approximation. All right, so these are going to be our widest points of the face here, okay? So we can see based off of this drawing, if we drew a line straight through there, all right, we could add ear shapes to that shape. So we'll go out here to the outer shapes, and then we're looking for how do those shapes interact with this actual big shape, okay? So we're forgetting about the features at this point. We just want to see the overall head shape. So what I'm going to do here is I will add some simple ear shapes here, okay? Okay. And then what we'll do is we can add a simple neck shape to the bottom. So this part here we'll do like this. All right? And we can see that we have our shape kind of as it is here. Now what we're going to do is add a top to the shape, okay? So if you look at it, the top of her head looks kind of like a cupcake. If once I get to this point, if I look at the shape overall, it looks like, let's say we got a milkshake, but we got a thing on top of it. Okay, so it looks kind of like this. You know what I mean? All right, so what I want to do now is this, to me, is just her hairline. So I'm going to do something like this here. From my shape, looking at what I did here, or how it was formed, I'm going to go inside of my box. And I'm going to travel here to the height, or one of the widest points of her face. And then over here, I'm going to do the same thing. Okay? So from there, then I'll go ahead and I'll add my dome shape here. Okay? All right. So we made our dome shape. So we're cooking right now, okay? Now, once we have that, right, we can see all of these little, just her little part right there, but we're going to keep this very simple, okay? So once you understand this, then I'll go into and I'll show you how this converts into smoother lines. You know, I see that Kunyao asked about like the video on line strokes, okay? And so I get that, and that's something that's going to be addressed, okay? But again, number one, the number one thing that you want to do this is you want to practice daily, and you want to practice daily with your basic shapes and learning how to draw the face fundamentally with fundamental shapes first, okay? This is going to be the fastest way. There are a lot of ways to practice drawing, but the fastest way to learn to draw and to learn to draw with using just markers and not really having to use a lot of sketching and all that is to master drawing basic shapes and putting them together just like this, so that this is what you're thinking of when you're drawing, but now you have this freedom almost to do different types of strokes and stuff with your pencil, okay? All right, so let's go ahead, and now we will drop our center line here so we can see this is kind of where the middle of our shape is. So everything's going to just be kind of symmetrical at that point, okay? From here, we can add like earrings. So let's just go ahead. I know she has these straight down earrings. I'm just going to give her some earrings like this just to keep it simple. So we're going to use what shape are we using here? So pretty much all we're doing is using a circle, 2 circles, right, to draw the earrings in, all right? So we'll go here and here, okay? Very important, as we back up, once you have this shape, you can see how everything is going to angle along with the actual head shape. So by knowing the basic shape, then you know how to draw your angles of the head and at what angle you want, okay? Now, once we get inside of the shape, now we're going to start looking for shapes within the face. So we're going to keep it, again, very, very simple so that we can walk away with the understanding of how we should practice, okay? Again, we're talking about today how to make a living as a caricature artist. Step 1 is going to be your practicing, okay? So let's go to the eye shape. Now let's look at close but no cookie. Close, but I don't want to say no cookie, but close is good enough. Close is good enough in caricature. All you have to do is do an approximation of a shape that you're seeing. So when I look at her eyebrows, right? Okay, what shape am I actually looking at? Now, if you're an untrained caricature artist, if you're a person that's a stickler for details, then this is probably going to elude you a little bit, but rest assured you'll get it as we go through. I'm confident you will. So what I'm looking at with these eyebrows, all right, are simple rectangle shapes, okay, that are angled in like this. I know that the shape kind of does like this on the end, right? That's great, and you can do that. But what we want to do is we want to get the basic idea of what the eyebrows are doing. So therefore, we don't really need that part on the end, we can add it once we draw the shape in, but I'll show you how to do that. So let's go over here again, grab our pencil, all right? And then we're going to do our eyebrow shapes, okay? And we're also being careful to think along, we're thinking along this line here, okay? So what are we seeing here? We're seeing that as long as I'm somewhere along these wide points for the eyebrow, right, I'm going to be on point. So if I'm drawing a rectangle, I can draw it at whatever thickness I want to. And add it into the face, okay? You see how the likeness is already there because we're paying attention to these lines in relation to the lines that we have drawn on the paper. Okay, now the next shape will be our eye shape, okay? So we're gonna go back to our eye chart and now we must identify, or go back to our shape chart and we must identify the basic feel. So what shape here makes us feel like we're looking at these eyes here? Well, would it be a circle? No. Would it be a triangle? No. Probably not a square. No. Maybe that. No. Ah, look at that shape right there. Okay, if we just look at it in the basic shape, it's coming out here. It's coming out over here. It has a top and a bottom, right? So it has an eyelash here, right? It has an eye like somewhere in here, right? Like that. We can just draw a little line over the top. So let's go ahead and transfer shape number 9 into our drawing, okay? So let's go ahead and bring this back, okay? And then we're gonna go 1. We're gonna draw them real robotic, okay? For this exercise, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? And then what shape are we looking at for our eyeballs? Obviously, they're going to be circles, right? 1, 2, okay? All right. Now, we're going to go to another little circle. 1, 2. Then we'll go to a little circle in the middle, which will represent our pupil shape. Okay? All right. Now, we can go ahead and we can add another shape to the top, okay? So we can add eyelashes to this shape, right? We're just going to do something simple. So we're just going to extend a little line off of it. Because remember, when we draw in caricature, we don't have to be exact. We just have to make it feel like what the person's face is doing. So to keep from drawing a regular drawing or a regular portrait, I might abbreviate all of these lashes by just doing that. And then maybe I might add another line here. So I'll just do a mirroring line. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay? Then we will add some little eyelashes. 1, 2. I'll just add a few here. 1, 2, 3, 4 to keep it simple. Okay? All right. So this is, again, how I practice. I always practice like this when I'm at home. I don't get into, or I want to train my brain to think about this because I already know how to do fancy lines. Once I understand this, all the fancy lines will come, okay? All right, let me see here. Let's do our nose shape. So we're going to look at our nose, and now we're going to go back over here. And so if we're looking at her nose in general, her nose is, to me, honestly, is very round to me, okay? So when I draw my nose shape, I'm not thinking about all of these details of the curves and all that. This stuff up here, like the bridge of the nose, we'll get to that in a minute, but let me show you how simple the nose is. And sometimes we make it way harder than what it really is. So there's a couple of ways I could approach this. I can think of a circle, right? And then what I can do is do this. Look at the top of my circle, right? And this is the bottom of my circle. I'm still keeping everything circular. So it kind of looks like a little rose, right? Like if you think of a rose looks like kind of like a little flower. Okay. Okay. You see? So we got like a little flower right there. Okay. So all I did was take that flower and then I turned it into a little nose shape right here, okay? And so now because I understand the what I am drawing, right? Because this is the what, how I draw it is up to me. So how big I make it, how far away from these shapes. And an important note here is that by understanding what you want to put or what you are drawing, it's easier for you to keep the relationships the way you want them in the picture. In other words, this is that far from this and this is that far from that. But if you don't know what you're drawing, a lot of times you'll waste space and make incorrect judgments as far as relationship because you're overdoing it with trying to draw something that you don't know what you want to draw. Okay, so again, practice. All right, and while I'm on this part right here, the next thing that I want to talk about, just kind of while I'm doing this, is self-development. Okay, so that's the second thing you want to work on with your caricature, to be in this field. Okay, and that means that how well do you talk to people? Are you just a person are you kind of afraid to talk to people? You have a lot of social anxiety, those type of things. It's going to be hard to make it in this kind of a business when you have that particular issue. So that's something that you definitely are going to have to work on. You're going to have to overcome your fear of people, right? Because that's going to really hold you back. All right. So and we'll talk about that a little bit more here. I want to go ahead and go to the lip shape. So a lot of times we get the lips and we don't understand what we're drawing. So let's focus in on these lips real quick. All right. Now, lips come in a variety of shapes, but there's one shape that rules them all. Okay, and we're going to go here and we're going to show you what that shape is. Okay. All right. So this is the general shape here. This is called what was this? A trapezium. Okay. This is a trapezium shape. Okay. I'll just call it trap for short. By the way, if you guys want to take a class with me, I do have one-on-one classes online that you can take, and we can, help you, push you forward if this is something that you want to do for a living, or whether it's just a hobby that you have and you want a little bit more personalized training. I do offer classes online, so you can sign up at rouserworld.com/classes. Okay. All right. So let's see here. Trapezium shape. All right. So the basic premise is that this is a trapezium drawn upside down, of course. Okay. If you add simple line in the middle and a smile line and an M or U shape at the bottom, you develop a mouth shape. Okay. If you draw, like in this particular situation, you can see that the lips are closed. Okay. So what I would do here is I would draw the top line of the trapezium. right? I would put the M shape here and the U shape here. Okay? So if I'm drawing a different type of mouth, I can turn it upside down where maybe somebody's teeth kind of gap upwards like this and gap downwards like this. Then I can still, because they have gums up here. Okay? A lot of gum line, right? Then what I would do is I would just kind of color in this piece right here and this here, and you can see you get, and then you put your U shape here. Okay, so but the whole idea is to understand the what of what it is you're drawing. Okay, so again, let's go with the what. The what is a trapezium. So we're going to go over here and we're going to go to the trapezium shape. We're going to draw the top of the trapezium shape, right? We can bend the line a little bit, but we're going to keep it simple. Oh, wait a minute, I messed up. I drew it too close. So let me erase that. Okay. So we're going to come down some, put it about right here. Okay. Then we draw our top lip. And then we draw our bottom lip. Okay? So we zoom out. We see that we have a pretty good cartoon of her using really, really basic shapes. Okay? So let's go ahead and at the end of the drawing, right, you can take your corners and you can smooth them off. Right? You can also erase in here and you can add a small chin shape here. Okay. Other than that, any other things you add to the picture as far as inner ear shapes and all that, which I won't get into that. I just want to teach you how to do it basically, okay? And the basic way is to, again, identify what it is that you're drawing, do your basic shapes, and then practice by identifying those shapes on the page, okay? And putting them together to make a cartoon. Kind of like if you guys, I don't know if you have any gamers online, right? So if you are a gamer, you probably had this thing where you had to make an avatar and they'll give you all these little shapes you got to pick from to make your avatar. Well, it's pretty much the same idea as making an avatar, okay? And then, again, we have our person shape. So you can see our person right here. So all we're doing is taking the bottom part of that person shape and we're saying, and we're just putting it here like this. This is a regular, a quick half body picture. Okay. You see? So just that easy, we did a little cartoon of her, right? Understanding what we basically need to make a person look like themselves. That number one shape, the alpha shape, the head shape, is the most important shape. Okay? All right. Now, again, we were talking about what it is that you need to understand or what things that you need to do to get into being a caricaturist. So we talked about number one being how much time you practice, also how you practice, okay? We talked about self-development. This is the second thing, and that is developing how you deal with people. You know, who are you inside, and so that's going to play a huge part in how well you'll do a caricature. Because even if you have really good drawing skills, you practice your behind off, but you don't have any charisma, you don't have any you're really kind of scared of people inside, or not. The word might not even be fear. Maybe you just don't like people, but you like to draw. You're kind of a guy that can sit in his a lady that could sit in his art studio and you can draw some really amazing stuff, but you rather at the end of the day be left alone then this is probably not going to be a good job for you, because it requires a tremendous amount of people skills. So we have to work on that, and that's why I put that at a number 2. That's the number 2 thing that you need to be able to get into doing caricature. Okay. Now, the third thing, which is, and if you have your pencil, as we go into our next caricature, we'll go in and we'll do this exercise again, is, and the reason that I'm doing this exercise with you, so before we even go there, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what that is. The third thing is going to be, you go have to develop your speed. Okay. And you develop your speed through not going faster. You develop speed by a combination of moving faster, but more so through simplicity. So the more, in other words, you have to learn what you don't need to make a person look like a cartoon, and what, you know what I mean, what you need to draw this person and what you don't need. Okay. So as you can see here, these shapes will force you to start thinking, all right, what is the basic shape of the head? What is the basic shape of the eyebrows? Without all the shadows and all these, you see all these shadows, and let's just go back and look at her face. Okay, there's a lot of shadows over here and cheekbone lines. What I did was I used the shape to insinuate the cheekbone. She has high cheekbones, so I went with a shape where my highest points are kind of high up on the shape. So I abbreviated it. I don't have to draw these cheekbones in here like this now, because I already kind of incorporated it into the shape. In other words, you have the word do not, right? And then you have the word don't, right? Which is a contraction of do not. So I am contracting cheekbones and the head shape into one solid shape, so that I don't need to draw anything else to make you see that she has high cheekbones. The shape already says that for me. I have done the same thing with the eyebrows. Okay, if you look at the eyebrows, yes, she has a little curve here on the bottom. What I did was, I know I don't need that. I need the meat of the eyebrow, or the eyebrow. So that shape is going to definitely be a rectangle. And then, yes, there's a curve at the end. If you want, at the end of once you got the major shape, you can come here and you can add this little piece onto the end. You don't need to do it. Did it make a real difference in how the picture looks? Not really. You still are going to be able to recognize her that way, okay? So the third thing is simplicity. The simplicity of understanding these shapes is going to improve your speed. So for you guys that are wondering, how do you draw really quickly? I draw quick because I draw with these shapes in mind. No matter who's sitting in front of me, everybody gets the same treatment. We're going to give you a head shape, eyes, ears, nose, and the mouth, and I'm going to define those shapes very quickly. All right, so let's go to our next person. I believe I had a request too from somebody asked me. Let me see, who was that? It was let me go to my let me go here to my studio and see who that was. Okay, so somebody said comments. I like to address my comments online here. Let me see. Okay, Hugh Jackman, Wolverine from the new Deadpool movie. Okay. I remember that. Okay. So, let's see here. Let's look up Hugh Jackman. Okay. Images. And then we're going to say Deadpool 3. Okay. Man, that's him getting jacked. Yeah, man, he looks good for his age, man. All right, let me see here. Let's look at this shape. Let's see here. All right. All right. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this picture right here, okay? We're going to use him as our next model. So let me save it. All right, so number one, how are we going to approach this picture? You're probably saying, wow, it's a lot of shapes and all this right here. This is a very simple picture to draw. I don't care that his face is facing at an angle. Keep it simple in your mind. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the far side of his face, this side here, okay? And if you're drawing a person live, you can use the same kind of technique, right? So let me see here. I'm gonna look at this shape here. I got one basically long side. Then we have another shape here, then we got another shape here. Then we got another shape here and another shape here. Okay, so this, just by drawing half of this shape, I can already tell where I'm going. I'm going for a shape that looks just like this. Okay? All right, so what shape is that on our chart here, okay? So we're gonna go here. We're gonna look for. Let me see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're looking for an octagon. Okay. What, Rouser? Yes, we are. Just watch it. Just trust me. Okay. All right, here we go. So how do we draw Wolverine? First thing we're gonna do is get our basic shapes down. Again, guys, we're gonna do this really robotically so that you can learn. I'm not trying to show off. I want you to learn this. Okay? All right? So watch this. 1, watch this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? Now, once we have that shape, okay? All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to draw our ear shape, or we're going to draw our ear shape, here. 1, 2, 3, because I'm looking at how the ear interacts with the head shape. Once I have a shape like this, you see how easy it is for me to see angles of the ear? Now, if you're swearing on a stack of Bibles that, look, this is the way you got to do it. This is the way you got to do it. You got to make this curve like this, like that. No, you don't have to do all that, because now watch what we're going to do. We're going to go to the hair. Once we go here, because I want to get my hair shape down, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for what this shape is. Simple triangle. What is this shape here? Okay? So I'm separating the hair into ideas like this. Very simple little ideas. And let me back out some so you guys can see here. Okay? All right. Hey, what's going on, Gordon? How are you on Facebook there, my friend? Now, don't forget, guys, if you're on Facebook, stars would be awesome, man, if you are benefiting from the information I'm sharing with you today. Send a few stars our way. Okay? So here we go. Watch this. Triangle. Okay? Got it? All right. Now, what we're going to do up here is we're looking at this shape right here. Those just basically look like double horns, right? So we're going to keep it very, very, very basic. Now, watch how they interact with my shape itself. Look. Look. Look at how everything just kind of snaps into the shape, like almost like you're putting a puzzle together. Look. Okay? Look. Okay. Now watch. When I get to the beard shape, I can I can go to the outside of the shape a little bit, no problem, right? I can come inward from the shape. And I'm just kind of doing his beard shape to mirror his face. You see how easy how easy it becomes when you draw like this. How it's very methodical, very easy process. Okay. Now watch this. All I'm doing when I get to the next shape is I'm drawing a cylinder. Okay. There you go. Now, what are we gonna do next? We can go into the features. Okay. So I'm gonna look at his shapes here. You know what I see there? I'm gonna tell you what I see. I see some S shapes. Okay. So let's go here and show you what I mean. An S. An S. Okay? Think of them like maybe some little worms. Think of them as some little worms, right? On the ground, you know what I mean? Or however you see them. Maybe some those look like some cool eyes, right? If I drew some eyes like that on somebody, right? I could be like this, right? So it looks like some eyes like that maybe. But that's what I'm seeing for his eyebrows. So watch. All I'm doing here is, again, simplifying it in my mind. Okay. Oh, I forgot to put my center line for you guys. Okay, so look at my center line. 1 and 2. So I'm seeing from this line here straight across, right? This is kind of where his eyes are going to go. And this is going to be my center line here. Okay. All right. Hey, thank you, Gordon. I appreciate your stars there, buddy. I really appreciate you. Ooh, I got 99 stars, man. All right, really appreciate you, man. Thank you. All right, let me see. Tips are also on YouTube if you guys are benefiting from the practice today. Hey, man, tips are awesome, okay? Again, number 3, we haven't forgot about the things. If you guys have not written these things down, the first thing, remember, and we'll go through it again at the end of the stream, but remember, practice. Second thing, self-development. Third thing, simplicity. How do you get, and speed. How do you develop your speed? You develop your simplicity. You make it where you have to do less, and then you do more by doing less. That's how you go faster. You know what I mean? I wish I would have known that when I used to run track. I remember I was about probably 12. I was going to a junior Olympic meet in Utah, but I had a coach. His name was Marshall. Very, very, very good man. One of my mom's friends, and he also was a professional sprinter, and he had been to the Olympics and all kinds of stuff. And he was telling me he raced me one day, and he was like, I think he was probably almost 40 something years old at that time, 40 something, 45. So I'm 12, 13 years old. I figured, well, I'm gonna smoke this guy. There's no way this old man's gonna be moving faster than me. Well, he beat me. And the reason he beat me, he told me, he said that I had raw speed. That means I knew I was fast naturally, but I didn't know how to run. And he was like, you're expending too much energy in your running, and so you don't know where or how to do it. And that's why it's taking you a longer time to get to the finish line than it takes me. And so the same thing with your drawing. You can know how to draw, right? But if you don't, you can have raw talent, but if you don't understand how to be simple, right, and understand what you need and what you don't need, then you're going to suffer when it comes to your speed. So that's just a little something for you. So number 3, I kept that there, is simplicity. Okay, so let's go ahead and do these eyebrows here. Okay, so we're going to do something like this. We got our little shapes like this, and we're going to draw them just like we saw them on the page. Okay, see there? All right, so we draw our little S shapes. All right, Now we're gonna go to our nose. We're gonna go to our eye shapes. Okay. Now with the eye shapes, generally we're looking for a shape that looks like it. You see this dead space? Let me go. Let me erase these guidelines real quick. All right. If you look at the eyes here, if you'll pay very close attention, not to the shape of the eye itself, but this line here. Okay, this is telling us whatever shape we're going to choose that we need, it needs to have a slanted line at the top. Okay, it needs to have a line that's slanted down. It also needs to have a line that's going across like this. Okay, what's the closest shape that I could use to do something like this? Well, that shape. Okay, just simple. We need something that's an approximation. What kind of feels like that shape right there? Well, let's look at our sheet over here. Okay, and we can see based off of our thing here, we don't have that shape on here, so we'll just add that in. And it is really a simple shape. So now we have 22 shapes, and this is called a right triangle. Okay, so that to draw Wolverine, to draw him in this particular pose and with that eye intensity and everything, we're going to need to know how to draw a right triangle. So let's see if our estimation is right. And we're going to also need to make them close to our S shapes. Okay, so our S shape and our right triangle need to be, again, in close proximity. Okay, so here we go. And they don't need to be big shapes. Okay, so let's erase those out. And look what we got. We got a real simple Wolverine shape, right? Now, all we have to do is draw a little circle going that way, and our circle going that way, and our eyeballs looking over there. Okay, does that make sense? All right, awesome. So that's real simple, real simple. We got our S, right? And we got our right triangle. Again, guys, this is all about how simple. This is number 3 on my list about how to become or draw or caricature. And if you want to get into the field of caricature, things that you'll need to work on so that you have some success at what you're doing. Okay? All right. So let's go now to our nose shape. So you're like, oh, well, what is the nose shape? What does it look like? And all that right there. Okay? Let me give you a mental picture. Okay? What is it? I want to look for one shape for the nose. The first shape I'm going to look for. Okay? And that's going to be this shape here. What is the nose doing at the base? I don't care about the nostrils. I don't need the nostrils. They don't make you look like you. In fact, if you look at most cartoons, they'll do a number where they do a shape and then they just shade it in at the bottom. They don't even add the nostrils in a lot of cartoons, okay? So that means that these are the cartoonists that's been doing this their whole life. So that's telling you you don't need that. So keep it simple, right? Leave them out. But if you just gotta be, and you want to put these huge nostrils, you can. Some people have very distinct nostrils and stuff, and you can put them in there. But for on a case by case, most people don't have very big nostrils on their nose to the point where you have to exaggerate them. So, also along with simplicity, you might want to write this down too. Is don't do unnecessary exaggerations. They're paying you. Listen to what you're doing. You're a caricature artist, okay? Draw a cartoon of them and get to the next person. They want a theme, okay? That's cool. You can do a theme, but you don't need to overboard with your theme because you got 50 people waiting in line. Okay, so let's look. You got this one person in front of you. You're gonna make 20 bucks off of. Okay, or you're gonna make $25 a face, whatever it is. Let's say you're gonna make 50 bucks for the picture. Okay, so you sit here for a whole half an hour drawing this picture with all of these details, and you make it look like a comic book and everything, right? You're still only gonna get 50 bucks, right? But I can show you how to do a simple theme, right? Okay, I want a theme and I want some color. I'm going to show you when you get finished with me, I'll show you how to draw that picture quick so that you get 10 people in and make $50 times the 10 people. So that's 500 bucks that you can make in 45 minutes versus 50 bucks you can make in 30 minutes. You get what I mean? So you gotta also think about, don't overdo it trying to show off for people that you can draw all this cool stuff is what I'm saying. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at that shape, and then we're going to add, and what shape is that on our list, by the way? A nose is pretty much on most occasions going to be a kite shape. It could be a circle shape, but a lot of times this kite shape, you know why? Because the kite almost just really fits right here like that. Okay, so most of the time when you see a nose, if you look at most people's nose, especially if you look from the side, most people have a little bit of a downturn to their nose when they're looking straight at the camera. I also like to draw the face from the simplest angles. So I'm not gonna draw a cartoon of somebody just looking up at the sky and all that kind of stuff, because I don't need to do that. That's just, you could do it if you want to, but it's gonna take you longer because then you got to figure out what angle this is and how this goes that way and that way. You don't need all that. Just keep it simple. Okay, so let's go ahead and get that shape in there. So we're going to do like this. We're going to judge the distance from the eyes down, and we're going to say, okay, this is our shape here. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll add the side of the kite. So I'm going to come down to the center line, and then I'm going to go down here. And let's say I want to put like a little bit of a end on the nose like this. Then I'll just do like that. Okay. You see how that works? So you put the first shape and you go into the center line. Then you come down and then you make kind of like a little arrow. So, you're really kind of doing this number here. Okay. So when I'm drawing a nose now, if I want to add the nostril, what do I do? You see, I don't have to have it, but it's just one quick line once you understand that basic shape. Okay. All right. Now we're gonna do a little bit of detailing around the eyes, but not a lot. In other words, I'm going to think of it like this. I'm drawing on a circle. The eyeball is a circle, and in front of that circle, since the shape is facing that way, I'm gonna put a little bit of a line here to let you know that this is a circle shape in front, and this is kind of a slice of a circle. So think of the eye kind of like this is a circle, right? And then this is a slice out of the circle going that way. You know what I'm saying? And this little space line that I put is this. You get what I'm saying? But the only thing is you can't really see the circle. You can only see the slice and the part of the eye. And this right here to denote that it's a bit of a circle. Okay? So I'm not going to do much about that. I'm just going to do something simple. Keep it simple for you. Okay? All right. Now, let's go to the mouth shape. Okay? So remember when we talked about on our last caricature, well, what is a mouth shape generally? Okay. Well, your mouth shape is going to be very simple. It is always going to be based off of the trapezium shape, which is shape number 8. Okay. So that trapezium, again, this is the trapezium, and then this is the trapezium. This is the top of the trapezium with the M shape and the U shape. So that's really the only thing you need to know when you draw a mouth. Trapezium M, U. You can turn it upside down. Like in his particular shape, he has a trapezium shape turned upside down, but it's a lot skinnier than this, right? So it's kind of doing like this. Look at this shape. If I do this shape upside down, right? It's the same thing as this shape, but because I understand what the shape is I'm drawing, then I can do whatever I want with it, okay? So you can see here that if I opened the mouth up, his teeth would be like this. So if you wanted to do something a little bit more exaggerated, like you want to give him Wolverine teeth, right? Right? You get what I'm saying? You want to do all this mess here. You can do that, right? Or you could go with what he has here, right? With the M and then an upside down U. So what we're going to do is we're going to go kind of with what he already has in the picture. I might exaggerate it a little bit, right? But let's go ahead and we'll look at our shape. So let's go. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Then we got teeth and a little square here for his bottom teeth, right? And then we have a upside down U. And we have a M or a bird shape. You can think of it as a bird, right? And then really all you're doing is the little space where the teeth are not at, you coloring that in like this, okay? So this is our mentality, okay? As we're drawing the picture, okay? Now, watch this. These little lines in the mouth around here, you might need those in there. But now we can kind of see where they come from, right? We can just do like this. See? 1, 2. Okay? See how that works? Real easy. All right. And then we'll go ahead and we'll add a little circle here. A little half circle, all right? And if you want to add his little thing here, we'll just do a triangle, right? And a circle going around the neck. This right here we can erase off, right? And then we have our muscle shapes. We have our traps, shoulders, right? Trap, big shoulder, okay? And remember, I'm just keeping everything basic shapes in my mind. Okay? Okay. So if you want to add any type of like these lines here on the end now, because you got your drawing down, you can see everything that you need to see. Let's go ahead and thicken the eyebrows in just a little bit, right? Still using the same shape. And then we have our little crease in between the eyes that happen when you fold, right? And if you want to add like a little bit of curve over here, you can now, right? You see? All of this stuff comes, but once you understand how to draw the face basically, again, then it gets a lot easier for you. So here now we'll just color in with single lines or however your creative mind wants to do it. All right, and we come back and we'll add our little beard shape. So we got a quick picture of Logan, right? Wolverine, okay? I'm not going to get into all the details and all that, but you can detail it like however you want. Do your colors. Here, I'm just going to color it in real quick. Color in just a little bit with my pencil. Right, so you can see like the basis of it, and then you can get your colors out if you want to color it in, whatever you want to do. No big deal, right? So we just drew a quick Wolverine. Okay. So when you understand again those, hey Christina, how are you? Does he have a mustache? I guess he does. He has a little mustache. There we go. Right? So I want to show you the power of this again when you understand the simplicity of the caricature. We can now let me grab a let me see. Okay, hold on one second, guys. They're good right here. I hope this one has ink in it. Yes, it does. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. All right, so now I want to show you something. Once we understand all of our shapes like we did here, watch how everything kind of translates. So we'll put this here, right? All right, and then we'll come over here. And when I'm drawing with such confidence. Watch the deliberation of my picture. Watch how it unfolds as I'm drawing it. Watch. Because I know what I want to do already. Okay? Watch. I can get loose with my lines now because I understand what it is I want to draw. Okay? See? You see? Okay. You get what I'm saying? So this is understanding. This is what makes your speed. You get ridiculous speed when you can think of caricature like this, and not with all of these different lines and too much details and all that kind of stuff, because it doesn't make the person look more like them, right? And they just want, at the end of the day, somebody just wants something that kind of looks like them, okay? And you're not gonna hit on every picture. Just get that idea out of your mind, right? That's not gonna happen. Sometimes you're gonna have a really good likeness, and you're not gonna think you got a good likeness because you're comparing yourself to some other artist. You know what I'm saying? So again, this is how that understanding this translates into you doing quick, you know what I'm saying, caricature. You get what I mean? Okay? Okay? Very quickly. All right, so let's go to our next picture. So we're going to go through and break this down again, okay? All right. Thank you very much, Vivian Rouser. Is the sound working? The sound is not working? I'm trying to figure out on Facebook, because by the way, guys, I'm on Facebook and YouTube at the same time, so I'm trying to make sure that our sound is working. So if you guys can give me an indication on Facebook that the sound is working. Okay, cool. That's wanted to make sure I kept seeing that. Okay. Also, guys, don't forget, if you're on Facebook and or YouTube, you feel like you're benefiting from the information. Stars are awesome, guys. If you could hit us up with a couple stars, we are trying to level up our Facebook, so stars are awesome. Also, super stickers will be on YouTube. So if you guys want to, you can do super stickers. You can also do Cash App if you like. We've been mentioning, guys, that we have we had a mishap with the roof of the house, so we're having to get that replaced. So we got hit with a hefty, basically $20,000 bill. So we are in the process of raising money for that. So if you'd like to help my family out by giving a little bit to help us to alleviate that cost a little bit, that would be great. So again, if you've been riding with me for a long time, you feel like you want to help, any amount would help. Thank you so much. I appreciate you in advance. Okay. All right. So let's go. By the way, guys, our Cash App, if you want to, if you're on Facebook, because you can't really see that, it's going to be $, Rouser World. And that's our Cash App there. So I'll just put this up here periodically if you want to give to the our roofing fund, right? So our goal is 20,000. We're a long way away from it, but we're going to try. You know what I mean? So thanks, guys, in advance for helping us out. Okay. All right. So I don't know if y'all got that information there. Okay. So we went through 3 things that you're going to need to, if you want to get into caricature. The first was going to be your practice time. Okay. Now today I'm teaching you how to practice. Okay. So we go back to our sheet. Remember, practice these and practice how to look at the face and see these. And then when you practice at home, draw with these. Don't draw the fancy lines, right? Draw these. These shapes are this person, right? Very easy translation. But when you get to work, that's when the fruit of your labor is going to pay off. Just trust me. I can draw literally when I get hired for parties or an event. The reason, one of my selling points is, okay, let's say I'm gonna charge you XYZ amount of dollars for 2 hours. I have a 2-hour minimum. Okay. They'll say, okay, man, that might seem like a bit much for 2 hours. I say, yeah, but hiring me is like hiring 4 caricature artists at one time. Because most caricature artists are going to take they're going to take about 15 minutes a face. 15 minutes for a face. And we're talking about a family that might you're talking about 20, 25 minutes, right? So if you hire them for 2 hours, they might get, 4 pictures, 5, 10 pictures done in that amount of time, right? But I can guarantee you that 50 people are going to walk out with a picture in 2 hours, right? 50 people, and I'm going to do the guest of honor in color or whatever they want. Okay, so that is how you make yourself more marketable for them, which is our third point, marketing. If you want to get into this, you got to understand, you got to know how to put yourself out there. Okay, so what ways can we put ourselves out there when we want to draw a caricature? The first thing I like to do, I like to go hand out flyers. So I made some, my wife actually made some flyers up for me. I don't know if I have any on my desk here, but she made some flyers up for me, right? And no, sir, son, go outside. I'm on the stream right now. Thank you. All right. All right. So I made up some flyers, and those flyers basically, I just go to businesses, doctors' offices, anybody that's having a party somewhere, or where I think they might have a party or a Christmas party or anything like that. I'll get up in the morning and I'll catch people early in the morning and give them a flyer. Hey, let them see my face, because a lot of times when people do something online, it's different than when they get to put a face with what you're doing. So put a face with it. So the first thing you can do is flyer. The second thing is my friends. Okay, my friends are having a party. My friends are having a get together. Okay, that's basically people that you know they're doing something. Sometimes you just want to volunteer and go to their party and be like, look, I'm gonna draw some pictures at your party because I want to get practice in. And then if you basically just do tips. At first, I started out doing tips. I didn't charge people outright when I first started doing it, but I still was making a really good income, on the Riverwalk, San Antonio, Texas. I was just doing tips, and people was on vacation. So you can go ahead and you can do tips at first. You know what I mean? So friends. Now, the third thing is you want to target your search or target your marketing toward places where people hang out and congregate. My particular niche is to draw at restaurants. You know why? Because they're already there. They're sitting down and they're not doing anything. Their kids are getting on their nerves. They want something to distract the kids while they're watching a football game. Okay? Well, that's where I come in at. You get what I mean? So you go somewhere where people hang out at. That's all. If it's a pool hall, right, or wherever, it doesn't matter. I've drawn in pool halls. I've drawn in restaurants. Where have I drawn at? Dude, I've been called to come to people's businesses and draw their whole staff. Like some people want to caricature their staff. You'll be surprised at who really wants caricature. But if nobody don't know you do it, it doesn't matter how well you can draw. Nobody knows. So you got to put yourself out there. Well, Christina asked, are restaurant owners friendly about that? Some of them are and some of them are not. But the way that they go, I'm going to make them tell me no. I'm going to make them tell me no. I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to go ask you because I'm scared. No. I'll walk in. Now, a lot of times when you go to corporate restaurants, they might want to say, well, they got to go through the red tape and all these people. But that's not necessarily true also because I draw at, that's not a stopping thing. Try all restaurants. You know what I'm saying? If you want to, but what ones that go with what you do, like you wouldn't want to do Olive Garden, right? Because Olive Garden and caricatures don't seem to go together. You get what I mean? But if you get somebody like Chewy's Mexican restaurant or like this one place I draw, sometimes I'll draw at Texas Roadhouse or Bubba's 33 because these places have caricatures on the wall literally when you walk in there. When I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness, they need a caricature artist here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and then sometimes you got a long wait, and then my niche is also that I'm mobile. Okay, I don't like setting up booths and sitting in one spot. Unless I'm being paid to do that, I don't like it. So that's just my personal thing. I don't like to do that. I like to I like to have my setup, and I'll actually do a video with my setup on it for you guys. But I like to have my stuff set up where it's a kind of around. I got a board and the easel. Only thing I got to do is put a chair up next to your table, right? Well, I'll just get a chair, sit down with you. The family will be there. I'm telling jokes, whatever. I'm drawing your picture, and I'm gonna do it quick. And then I just learned from being on the Riverwalk because I didn't think of this until actually a police officer told me to do it. You'd be like, "What?" Yep. I was in San Antonio, and so when I first got there, the first day I tried to do caricature, I went literally to the Riverwalk, sat on the steps of the Riverwalk, and wrote a sign on paper. Like I wrote a sign here for our Cash App, and I put caricatures on the side. And I had my board and my paper, some makeshift stuff that I made up. And then they were like, well, how much does it cost? And then the first couple that I drew, they just got married. They were from Houston, and they were just there for the weekend or whatever. And they was like, well, draw me and my wife. And I drew them on the steps of the Riverwalk. Well, then the police officer came over and told me I had to have a permit to do that. You know what I mean? Where I was at. So I was like, oh, okay. He says, why don't you try getting into restaurants? Maybe one of the restaurants will let you do it. And then, next thing you know, I went to Rita's on the river. There's a very popular margarita bar. They actually hired me as a server there. And as I got hired in as a server, and then once I was at a shift meeting, I drew one of my managers on a napkin. They was like, "You could." She said, "Man, you draw those pictures of people pretty good." She said, "You ought to do that here." And I was like, "Really?" That's where it took off at. So I started doing it there, and then the manager from that place, one of the managers from there transferred to one of the bigger restaurants on the Riverwalk, where she was over 3 other restaurants. And so I had like these 4 territories that I had more business I knew what to do with over there. So it was like, you just never know. You got to take that chance. You know what I mean? Okay. Anyway, let's go to our next picture here. What time we got, guys? 11:28. All right. So who we going to next? Did everybody get that Wolverine down? We'll go ahead and save as a keep current resolution. Okay. All right. And so we're going to go to our next face here. What other faces do we got here? Let's go here. Okay. So we got a lot of faces. All right. So let's go to all right. Uh-oh, here he goes. Cry, my little fella crying. All right. Here we go, guys. So we're on drawing number 3. Yeah, you should go to check it out at Roadhouse. You know, I just knew somebody. That's how I got into Roadhouse. It was like I went there, you know, on other occasions, but I was told like, I don't know. And then next thing you know, just so happened that I knew somebody that knew the manager there. And a lot of times with managers and stuff, their biggest thing is, can they trust you with the clients? Because at the end of the day, business comes first. You know what I mean? They don't want you to hold up the tables and all that. So that's when I had to develop my speed, because the servers turn tables. So if I'm sitting there drawing your picture for 25 minutes, I'm holding up your table. But if I can draw a family of 4 people, but before their food even get there, like if they just ordered and they asked me to draw that picture, they could be a family of 4 or 5 people. I'll get 5. I'll draw all 5 of them and shoot. I'll draw 10 minutes, 5 people, and then I'm out of there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. Hold on a second. Let me see here. Let's go to this lady here. Let's do it. All right. Now, again, remember what I told you. So that was point number 4. Remember marketing, okay? And we'll go into our 5th point. I'm going to kind of space it out a little bit so we can get some drawing in at the same time. So what am I looking at when I do this picture right here? Number 1, I'm looking for cheekbones. That's just basically what this is all about. The most common shape that you're going to use for your face is going to be this shape here. This is the most common shape because these are the cheekbones here. Okay? Does that make sense? These are the cheekbones, okay? So I can move those cheekbones anywhere I want to. I can move those to represent what part of the face I want to accentuate. Do I want to make my jaws larger? Do I want to make the cheekbones higher, right? Do I want to put those up here, right? And then drop down here and put it way up here so that it seems wider at the top of the face. So do I want it to be wide at the top, the bottom, or do I want it to be somewhere in between? Okay, so I'm constantly moving this space around, right, to accommodate my picture. So let's do that with her face. So with her, hey, Jermaine, what's going on? Jermaine, my main man. Hey, that's a fist bump, man. All right, and Jermaine, I just always want to get one of my Patreons is in the house. Patreon, Jermaine, thank you so much for signing up Patreon. 2 of my Patreons, I also got Christina as well. Christina is here as well. So I want to thank both of you guys for, investing in starving artists, right? But really, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. All right, so let's go ahead. By the way, guys, don't forget if you want to check out our Patreon page, you can go there. We already put the information at the very top. So if you will just go to the very top, the link is already there. It's pinned to the top of the chat. So you should be able to just click it and go there if you guys want to join a tier to help us out. That's another way you could help out if you want to help us with the roofing fund, guys. Our roofing. Ooh, sorry, guys. Ooh, I hit something right there. Sorry. Okay. Oh, sorry. Uh-oh. Okay. Sorry. Something happened there. All right. So our roofing fund, our goal is to raise 20,000 so we can get the roof on the house, our roof repaired. So we got a couple donations. I think we had one for 20 and one for something else. But we're pretty far away from that goal, but this is what we're trying to do. And so if you could go over to Patreon, check it out. If you sign up for like the least tier, it's only like $5 a month. You know what I'm saying? And you get access to exclusive content that I put just for people on our and some behind the scenes stuff, which I'm going to be sharing some behind the scenes stuff with you guys on Patreon here probably this evening. I had an opportunity to record some video of me at the art walk last night, and so I'm going to share that with you guys. Check it out. But anyway, let's get back to this picture right here. Oh man, happy birthday, Jermaine! 50 years old. You finally made it to the club, man. Are you 50? Oh man. Well, I'm 51, so you're a young buck. You're a young buck, and you're still wet behind the ears. Man, congratulations. Happy birthday to you, my brother, man. That's awesome, man. God bless you with another year of life, man. So what you going to do today for your birthday? All right, let me go over here and let me do this while I'm waiting on that. So now with her, I'm going to give her some high cheekbones, okay? So here's my shape right here. Here we go. Watch this. X marks the spot. So I'm going to put my cheekbones right here. So everything else is going to fit like that. Okay? That's it. Okay? Oh, okay. Okay. Now, it is your birthday and stuff. Is it anything anybody in particular you'd like me to draw for you? Anything like that? Let me know. I'm going to look out for you. Who would you like to feature on the stream today? And please don't say Julio Fulio. I heard what everybody's been asking me about that. God bless the young man. He recently passed away and stuff, and it was but I've been getting a lot of requests to draw him. But yeah. Y'all might not even know who that is. I don't even know. Most people don't even realize it. When I talk to youngsters and they say, "You know who this is?" And I'll be like, "Yeah," because it's people ask me to draw people, so I go search them up and find out who they are, and then I'll see what happened. You know what I mean? I'm like, "Oh man, young fella, man." And I tell you, them young rappers, man, they something I don't know, man. That's crazy. Okay, all right. Send a picture of Amber to me. Send it to my messenger on Facebook or Instagram, whichever one. Send it to me to Instagram, and then I'll pull it up here in just a minute. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this face shape here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 6. So we got the spots going here, right? And 6, right? Okay. Now watch how simple it gets from here. All right. So we're going to draw a line through there. And now her ears will automatically just hang off of that line. I'm just going to give her some circle earrings. Okay. And then we can see where our next shape comes right off of that shape, right? And then if we look inside of this top square, we can see where our hair just kind of does like this and goes to our furthest point. From the furthest, now we'll go to the top of the head, right? And we want to make as big as shapes as possible without going inside of the shape when you have a full hairdo like this one, okay? Okay, you see? All right, now we're going to go to this other side over here. Okay. And if you want, you can round these edges off here, you know. But we just, again, keeping it simple, okay? Now, once we get to the eyebrows, well, what shape do we see there, okay? Well, you know what I see? I see a comet, like a comet. You know, like a comet. Like a shooting star. Okay, so we got 2 shooting stars here, right? Okay, and don't forget, guys, if you're on Facebook, stars are awesome, guys. Help us out. Help us out with those stars today. All right, I got you, Jermaine. I see it. I see it. I got you. All right, now we're going to go to the eyes. Oh, look, the same eyes we used before we're going to use here. We're going to go to shape number 9. Okay, as you're starting to see that number triangles make very good eye shapes. I don't know if you picked that up yet, but let's go ahead here. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. She has an overall round nose, so it doesn't matter to me what am I drawing. Let's go back and look at that round nose again. We're looking at a flower shape, remember? So we're gonna go top of the nose, okay, and our little flower with our little nose ring. That's all we need to know. And then we just add our little shape or line to connect it. From here, we're going to go to our, what did we say we were going to use? We're going to use our trapezium shape, okay? So we're going to use the top of, so if you, with her, she's smiling, okay? So what's going to happen is we want to get the smile first, the easy smile, right? Like this. Okay, and then we'll use the lip shape as our trapezium shape. See, watch the trapezium. Okay, look at this shape. All I did was take this line and bend it, and then it's a line going through it like this. So picture it like this, and a line is coming through it like that. You see how it works? Okay. You get it? Very easy. Okay. Now, this is the raw shape. In other words, again, when you are practicing, you want to practice like this. Okay. Don't practice don't be all that fancy stuff. That does not make you better because you can draw fancy lines. Okay, what makes you better is that you know what it is you're drawing. So even if you draw it simpler, right, you know, you're still going to look cool. It doesn't matter, okay? All right, now let's go ahead and add some eyelashes here, right? So we'll just add some little eyelashes. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, okay? All right. And then we draw little circles in here. Circles, right? Pupil, and lighting. Okay? Now, all you have to do, really now is just smooth off the edges. Smooth them off. Smooth them off. This one you won't even be able to see. This one here, you just draw your little hairline right there. But watch how we smoothed it off. We got the ear shape. And we can add whatever we want. We can add some little eyelashes down here, right? We can, give her some little lipstick. Whatever have you, okay? Okay? See how I added just a little bit of shadow in there? But the shape of the face, let's take it back out. And it's crazy, like the likeness is insane when you think about it like this. Well, no. Do I draw on their faces on the spot? What do you mean? Like just I can see that happening, right? Oh my God. That was I don't even know if that was a joke, but that was funny. I could imagine that. Let me draw. Can you come here for a second? Let me draw your face really quick so I can draw my picture. Oh, you mean? Oh, yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah, when I'm drawing, yeah, when I'm drawing photos off of when I'm drawing in my studio or whatever, I do that. I'll draw pictures on the actual pad. In fact, this is how I came up with this whole idea. And when I started seeing stuff like this, I was like, oh man, all I have to do is give you an approximation. And so when you think like that, you tend to it takes a lot of pressure off. You know what I mean? You don't feel so pressured to get everything exactly right. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean the same thing. So all right, now let me see here. What we got? We're gonna go ahead and go to Jermaine's drawing really quick, right? So let's go ahead and knock that out again, guys. When you look at the picture here, right? This is the picture that we drew by us understanding the shape. Watch how my pen moves. Okay, this is me trying to use fancy lines. Okay, watch. Okay, I'm looking at the shape and I can see it all unfolding, right? And I made it a little bit bigger than it's supposed to be, but that's okay. Okay. Watch my lines might be fancy or whatever, right? But I know what I want. So I don't have to sit here and think about this too long. Right? Got my comments here. Right? What I got my shapes, watch this. What if I just do like this and like this? Watch. I know what I want. So even if I do this first and this, right? Now watch how I drop it in there. See how I did that shape, but I drew it here, but I just did it in my own way. You know what I'm saying? Okay, now here we go. We got the nose shape. Here we go. Round nose shape, flower shape, earring, right? Connecting shape, right? Smile, lips, right? Okay. Eyelashes. You see? So that drawing, because of what I understand, what I understand, right? Look. You know what I'm saying? Automatically, it's real quick, no hesitation. Okay? And we talking about that took me 60 seconds. Okay? This is what, and they like the caricature because it looks pretty. It's beautiful. It's a beautification type thing. You get what I'm saying? All of the shadows and stuff, that stuff don't take but a minute. You know, I use them very sparingly. I might do something like this here. Right? Watch. Okay? And just these little lines right here, I'll put like a little bit of dimension to the drawing. You know what I'm saying? And then my hair, whatever. I use the side of my marker, and everything is impressions. Because I use these basic shapes, again, I know what I want to do, and I just execute. I'm not worried about messing up because I can't, because I know what shape I want when I start it. Okay? If you want to add some more cheek in there, you can do like this. Watch. See how I added that cheek in there, but I added it into the shape so it's not too, it's very subtle. You know what I'm saying? Okay? All right, now, so that was our robot drawing. This was how I practice. This is what I understand. This is what happens as a result of what I understand. Okay? Get it? All right. I hope I said that right. All right. So let's go ahead and we're going to go to Jermaine, the wife of Jermaine. Let me see if we can find her. So you sent that to me on Messenger, I want to say. Right? Messenger. Wait a minute. Did you send it on Messenger or did you send that on Instagram? Hold on a second. Let me see. Hold up. Jermaine, that was on Instagram. Instagram, okay. Okay, hold on. Let me go to Instagram real quick. I think I got the Instagram on this pad. Instagram. Where's Instagram at? My son be downloading games on here all the time. Here it is. I see Instagram right there. Ah, look, Jermaine, there you go. Oh, happy birthday to me. Oh, oh, let's check it out. Let's see, Jermaine. What you got? What you got, man? That's Jermaine right there. He's drawing this picture. That's not me. All right, man. I see you. All right. Man, you remind me of my boy Daryl for some reason. That might be why I feel like it's my friend Daryl. I'm always, yeah. Yeah. All right, man. Okay. Boom. Okay, I see you, man. Gotcha. All right, let me see here. Oh, look at this here. Looky here now. Okay, let me see here. So we got Jermaine and his wife together, okay? I'm gonna make this into a tutorial. Yes, Christina, yeah. I think I taught Jermaine. I taught him what I know. Jermaine, how long, man? Jermaine's been a couple of years now. A couple of years we were rolling, man. How's your mom doing, by the way? All right, here we go. So we're gonna look. I'm just gonna do the shapes. Okay, here we go. So your wife definitely got. Let me see here. She don't really have a lot of cheekbone to me. So I'm gonna use this shape here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna use this shape here. Something like I'm just making it as big as I want to make it. Okay. Now Jermaine, you got you know what kind of heads you got? You got one of these heads. You don't really have a lot of cheekbone either. You got one. I'm gonna put more of yours down here. So I'm gonna go here, here, here. Then I'm gonna go up here. I'm gonna go over here, around here, and down over here. And I'm gonna put your neck about right here. Something like this. I gotta make sure it's gonna fit on this paper the way I want to. So, all right. So after that, we ready to roll. I can see your shapes, and I'm gonna use a Sharpie for this because the lines won't be as out of control. Ah. Yeah, you gotta. Here we go. You ready? All right, so we're gonna put your wife's neck right here. This is, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna do like this. Here we go. Okay. Mm-hmm. Ah, I think I missed. Wait a minute. Working on these small pieces of paper. Wait, let me start all over again. I'm just gonna go with it, Jermaine. There we go. I don't know what I was thinking of there. There we go. There we go. Okay. Forgive me, man. You know, I get one mess up. I get one mess up a year. Okay. All right, here we go. Now the white. Almost there, Jermaine. Yeah, it just helped me out to do it. It just helped me to do it better this way. Okay. All right, hold on. Let me see. Almost there. Almost there. I'm just gonna use some. I'm gonna use this crayon here for my. Let's see. All right. All right, there we go. So that's that. This is my Jermaine. Your happy 50th caricature. Big heads, little bodies. All right. So, man, look, we did a lot of drawings. We did a lot of drawings today. So, let me finish going over those points for you again, guys. Again, if you feel like you're benefiting from the stream and you enjoyed the stream today thus far and you'd like to tip, guys, tips are awesome. Stars are awesome. If you guys are on Facebook and you'd like to donate toward our channel, support an artist, support me particularly as the artist, you could do it with your super stickers, chats, all that good stuff like that. Right on, Amber. Awesome. Keep them in line. And Amber, I'm going to tell you just one thing, okay? If you go upside his head, okay, make sure you go upside the side that's not facing the camera. This way, it'll this way nobody, it won't come out in the caricature. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got to say about that. Okay. And I didn't see nothing. All right, let me see here. Roofing fun. All right, also, guys, just to let you guys know, we were sharing with you guys about our roofing fund that we are doing. So we're trying to get the roof on the house repaired. So we're reaching out to our fans and our audience and stuff to help us out. If you guys want to help, you can donate toward that fund at Rouser World through our Cash App. You can also do through super stickers, stars, whatever you want to do it. Or you can also do Patreon, which is where you sign up like as a member of our Patreon. And it's like, I think the least expensive one is like $5 a month or something like that. So if you guys want to help toward it, thank you so much. I appreciate you. All the information to sign up for Patreon is already on the screen, right? Hey, thanks, Jermaine. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. You already do so much, man. So thank you so much, Jermaine. I appreciate you, man. All right. I was trying to get you to your birthday. You got okay. And you know what? I'm gonna actually, Jermaine, if you would, you can send me an address or whatever, and then I'll put this just for your birthday. I'll put this and ship it to you so you could have the actual drawing itself. So just let me know if you'd like to do that, and then that's on me, buddy. All right. All right. Okay, and also, you know what? I feel like doing. I think I'm gonna draw. You know who I'm gonna draw next? I'm gonna tell you who I'm gonna draw. Let me see. Let me see if I can find you. Hold on. Let me see. Let's see here. How can I go there? Let me see. Okay, right on, Jermaine. Yeah, just message me and let me know, and then we can roll from there. Let me see if I can find you. Oh yeah, Christina, you had sent me some pictures you had did. Bruno Mars. Okay, Ariana Grande. That's the one. Yeah, I like that one. That's cool. I like the color coordination right there too. So what we gonna do though? This is what we gonna do. Hold on. Let me see if I can. Can I how can I do that? Can I do this? Hold on. Let me see. Maybe I can just do it this way. All right, there we go. Gallery. We're gonna draw Christina's picture. let me I gotta get it to blow up bigger, so let's save it as your picture, and I guess I can keep the current resolution. All right. All right, there we go. Okay, cool. Thank you. All right. So here we go. We gonna see what Christina looks like as a cartoon. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Let me see. Let me see. Do 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 do. Since she's here today, it's kind of hard to. The features are hard to see on this. I don't know. I'm messing around. Okay. Hmm. That's what I'll do. I'll use this and just. You have a lot of freckles? Oh, really? Oh, I couldn't see them. Yeah. Okay, hold up. I'll put some freckles. So we got some freckles going on in there, right? Okay. Okay. And then let's do your hair real quick. So we're gonna use this same marker here. Last but not least, hold on. Okay. And then we will just put Christina. Okay. And there you have it. My quick cartoon of Christina. Right? All right. And then man, I'll have to get a final screenshot of that here in just a little bit. Anyway, so guys, I think that's all the drawing that I got in me for today. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure we send this off to Jermaine. He already sent his address and stuff, so I got you taken care of. All right, then we got Christina. Let's go ahead and let you see that final drawing right there. Your big head, your little body. Right? I put a couple of freckles in there, right? All right, and then we're gonna put that one over here. All right, guys. So let's see here. Let's go ahead now. We're going to get into our word of the day, okay? So we're going to start wrapping this thing up. We had a lot of fun today drawing with you guys. It's been a blast. As you can see, it's a little hot up in here. Let me wipe it. Now we're going to give me just a minute, guys, and I'll be right back, and we'll get to our word of the day, okay? All right, give me just a second. I'm going to pause my information here. And then put it center. Wait, let me do it again. Hold on. Let me see. All right, because I see you're probably trying to get a... okay, there we go. All right. All right, so... let's go ahead and get our word of the day out, okay, guys? All right, so I'm going to pause my my sound here for a minute, and then we'll get into it, okay, guys? Okay, guys, so we're back. I'm gonna go ahead and go back live on Facebook. So we're on the last part of the stream, which is our word of the day. So I'm just gonna get out my Bible here, just in case there's any notes that I need to. And what I do at the end of every stream is I like to share. Excuse me. My Bible study with you guys. I like to study, to give myself something to think about every day, Now, this is usually the part where everybody takes off and cheer because they don't want people, it's I don't know. And I get it. Because disciplining the mind it's a crazy thing, it's hard to do something that you don't want to do, especially when you've fallen into a program of doing things the way that you do them. Then it's sometimes very difficult for us as people to accept any type of correction. We'll get some of us have gotten to a point in life where we feel like we know everything about everything, and there's this whole nother person that's waiting, you know, to come out of you. God is it's like this awesome being. I feel like, you know, is inside of me that I'm still searching, you know, for. You know, I'm getting closer and closer with the more that I work on my spiritual person. I can definitely tell you I've seen a lot of changes in my personal like growth over the years, even since the time that we started doing this stream. At first, it started out as a thing for me to I was trying to get rich or die trying, right? And then I don't know, somewhere down the road, I started thinking, man, I'm gonna tell you what I thought. I think none of this actually matters. You know what I mean? In the big scheme of things, right? We're all gonna die one day. None of us can live forever. And so I thought about, like, how can I make better use of the time that God has given me? Like, should I continue to just be some self-centered jerk? Only cares about how I look or how much money I got or how much this I got or what I got or what this is all about me? Or, you know, it's got to be something, because none of those things really, when I look back, I've had some things before in my life and none of this stuff ever really made me happy. You know, it reminds me of this scripture I saw in Ecclesiastes. Before I get into the actual study. And if you guys have never read Ecclesiastes, you have got to read this book, because it is completely it's completely what's the word I'm looking for? Mind blowing. But it says, let me see where I can find this thing at. Let me see. Nope, that's not it. This is written by Solomon. He was the wisest man ever to live, according to the scripture, right? And it says, there are few experiences in life that are more universal than disappointment. It seems as if everyone has experienced a broken promise, an unfulfilled expectation, or a shattered belief. The teacher in the book of Ecclesiastes recorded his own experiences with disappointment as he tried to find peace apart from God. The teacher uses a series of examples: wealth, wisdom, popularity, pleasure, and shows how each of them ultimately end in disappointment if it becomes the sole reason for one's existence. After pondering this for several chapters, the author finally offers his conclusion: fear God and obey his commands, for this is everyone's duty. It appears that the teacher abandoned any hope in worldly pursuits and decided that glorifying God provides the only lasting meaning in life, right? And then, and just reading that alone, that's kind of what my mentality has become. I don't know. It's like, what does it mean? I once saw an interview with Mike Tyson, and the interviewer asked him about his titles and his all of the boxing stuff that he had done over his lifetime. And he looked at the guy and he said, he said, these things means nothing to me. And he threw one of his belts on the floor and threw the other thing over there and slapped it off the table. He was like, they mean nothing. He says, what does this all mean? Like, what does it mean for me to be looking at this stuff sit on a trophy or whatever? What we think is important to us today is going to be sitting on somebody's trash heap, right? After we leave here, right? So this thing is, how can we make the best use of our time? This is the last. I want to share one other little reading out there before I go into this, okay? So anyway, in Ecclesiastes 2, it said the futility of pleasure, right? How futile it is for us to just go around looking to feel good all the time. It said, I said to myself, come on, let's try pleasure. Let's look for the good things in life. But I found this too was meaningless. So I said, laughter is silly. What good does it do to seek pleasure? After much thought, I decided to cheer myself up with wine. And while still seeking wisdom, I clutched at foolishness. In this way, I tried to experience the only happiness most people find during their brief life in this world. I also tried to find meaning by building huge homes for myself and by planting beautiful vineyards. I made gardens and parks, filling them with all kinds of fruit trees. I built reservoirs to collect the water to irrigate my many flourishing groves. I bought slaves, both men and women, and others were born into my household. I also owned large herds of flocks, more than any of the kings who had lived in Jerusalem before me. I collected great sums of silver and gold, the treasure of many kings and provinces. I hired wonderful singers, both men and women, and had many beautiful concubines. I had everything a man could desire. So I became greater than all who had lived in Jerusalem before me, and my wisdom never failed me. Anything I wanted, I would take. I denied myself no pleasure. I even found great pleasure in hard work, a reward for all my labors. But as I looked at everything I had worked for so hard to accomplish, it was all meaningless, like a chasing of the wind. There was nothing really worthwhile anywhere. I don't know if you could feel that, but man, that's so true because, like, I can remember asking for things in my life, and when I finally got it, it was like, this is all I'm gonna get. It was like it was like the anticipation of it was way better than actually the payoff. You get what I mean? And then you get bored with it. That's what most of us have in our garage right now. A bunch of stuff that we wanted so bad, right? We were in the clothing store that day. We probably got in an argument with our spouse behind it. We got to have it. And now all of a sudden, you don't even use it or think about it anymore. So what then, as this book says, and I would encourage you to go through and read the whole book. It's really only about 5 pages of the Bible, but it will change the way you think about life. And I read this book practically, I read it probably once a week. I read the whole book and I just go back through it to assert these things in my mind, because at the end of the day, none of this stuff that we do means anything. This stuff doesn't, your car, your house, how pretty you are, none of this stuff matters. What matters only, and if you don't have a relationship with God, it's kind of like, I can only imagine how you must suffer every day. Because now you don't have, not only do you feel the meaninglessness of stuff, because you, just to show you, you can get upset or be sad about something. You just lost someone that you say you loved or whatever, and you're sitting there, and without God, you'll think everything is unfair. Everything is just happening to you. It's just, there's no reason for any of this. And then that kind of thought process can kind of drive a guy crazy. You know what I mean? So this book tells us that the best way to spend our time is to spend our time glorifying God. In other words, believing in the Lord, believing in God, because in God, that's the only way you can find purpose in all of this stuff. You know, when you wake up in the morning, Papa said, I don't know whether I believe in God or not. I don't know all this stuff, right? And I would say, so you never actually thought about where the heck you came from? Like, you know you're here, right? You know that you are here. Now, really sit back and think about that question for a second. Either you think you're an accident or you think you are on purpose. So which one is it? Do you think that your life is an accident? Like a bunch of things just randomly happened and you just came out of nowhere? Or are you on purpose? Do you feel like you came here and there's a reason why you're here? And life is about searching for why you're here. And the only way I found that the scriptures have led me to becoming, living, I think, a happier life is to choose to believe that I came for a purpose, and seeing the work in the hand of God in my life, and knowing that the only way that I can truly discover who I am is through love. Okay? And love is, which brings us to our word of the day, the best expression of love is time. Okay? So let me read this to you and then we're going to get you guys out of here. By the way, this is The Purpose-Driven Life. This is by Rick Warren. I love this book. It's gotten me through a lot of crazy times. But this is a really good book. I recommend that you get it and read it. Just a chapter a day or whatever. It's not, and maybe you can even do like a Bible study if you have a friend or something. You get together and read a little bit at a time and really think about it and talk about it and see what you get from it. But I've gotten a lot of good stuff from this book. So the best expression of love is time. The importance of things can be measured by how much time you are willing to invest in them. The more time you give to something, the more you reveal its importance and value to you. So how much time do you spend with your mom? How much time do you spend with your dad? How much time do you spend with your children? How much time do you spend with your friends? Right? Do you spend most of your time alone? Where are you spending your time? How much time do you spend drawing? You say you love to draw. How much time do you spend doing it? If you want to know someone's priorities, just look at how they use their time. Wherever you find yourself at the most, whatever you find yourself thinking about the most, that's what you love. So don't tell me you love me. I'm not allowed to tell somebody I love them and I don't spend no time with them. I don't call them. I don't think about them ever. Right? I don't reach out to them. I'm in my own little world all the time. I'm too busy. And then when you see me, hey man, I love you. No, you can keep that love. That's not love. That is, again, I always say that is, I love me and I just need you to help me do it. So I'm just kind of keeping a coal in the fire. We often throw that word around, love, like it's just something to just throw around at people. Like it really doesn't. It's really lost its meaning a lot, I think, in our world. The real true meaning of love and the real true meaning of spending time. It says time is your most precious gift because you only have a set amount of it. Think about that for a second. Time is money. Time is literally your life money. Your life money. Like when you run out of time, it doesn't matter how much money you have. When you run out of time, let me say it again, don't matter how much money you got. So when you spend your time, because it's the most precious gift that you have, right? That's how you love that thing. That's how you show your interest in. That's how you show what you're really dedicated to. You can make more money, but you can't make more time. And every time I hear that sentence right there, I think when I read this book the first time, I kept thinking of Steve Jobs, the guy that created Apple, or all the other guys that had all this money, right? Recently here, I mentioned a young rapper. His name was Julio Fulio, but I can't remember what his real name was. But he was a young guy rapping. He had, nice cars and all the stuff you see in rap videos. I'm assuming he had some money, you know, but wow, he don't have no more time left. Where was he spending all of his time at before he left here? When you give someone your time, you're giving them a portion of your life that you will never get back. So that means that you got to be, let's keep reading that first. Your time is your life. That is why the greatest gift you can give someone is your time. The greatest gift you can give. Right now, you guys are giving me your time. Like, this is your time. Okay? Okay? So this is your time. All right? This is your time. Okay? So you have decided to come to this stream and sit here and be in my company. So you are showing love to me because of that. Because you could be doing, I don't know, a list of other things that you could be doing right now, but you're here. So let's read that again. When you give someone something, whatever it is, your time, you are giving that thing or that person a portion of your life that you cannot get back. That is, your time is your life. This is why the greatest gift you can give someone is your time. So it's not enough for to say, I love you, and you not giving them a call. It's not enough to say, I love you, right? But you don't never spend no time with your kids. You always at work. I can remember when I was a kid, right? Me and my brother, my mom was she was a really good lady. And unfortunately, she had to raise us by herself. My father passed away when I was murdered when I was a baby. So I grew up without my dad. And my mom had to work. So we didn't get to see her a lot because she was always working. And so it kind of gave me I never really got to know my mom because of that. I never really felt the love of my mom. And as a grown man, I think about her face and I think about the way she sounds. And, she passed away. My mom passed away this would be going on 3 years. She passed away on right above on a Mother's Day. But it was just then I think sometimes, I could have, when I was out here in these streets and stuff, and I could have been going home and seeing my mom more than I did. Sometimes I feel guilty. I feel like that's my mom. If I would have been there, my mom wouldn't have, I would have been more involved. Maybe she wouldn't have died, the way she had died. Maybe if I was there more, maybe if I would have been more time with her, and I regret that I didn't, go when I said I was going to go, or, that kind of stuff, So this is just what this particular reading is just bringing up feelings about that. So that's why I like to do, these Bible studies, because it makes me reflect not just, how this is impacting my life. I'm really getting something out of this today because I need to be more intentional with my time, because I don't have an unlimited amount of it. It says it is not enough just to say relationships are important. We must prove it by investing time in them. Words alone are worthless. Quote, my children, our love should not be just words and talk. It must be true love, which shows itself in action. Relationships take time and effort, and the best way to spell love is T-I-M-E. Wow. And that's crazy because, I noticed that a lot about like men. We sometimes, right, like as we get older, it's harder for us to make friends with people. I don't know if it's the same thing for ladies, but for guys it is, because we straight up get in our own world and we feel like we don't have time to invest in nobody else's life. We just want to do our thing and be kind of left alone a little bit. And so we tend to be very reclusive as we get older. When it comes to going out and ministering and strengthening other men. In our church, it's like all the women go to church. They all go and they have the group meetings and they are talking and they're sister such and such and this and that and the other thing, right? But the guys sometimes we miss on that part. I wish sometimes when I go to our prayer meetings and stuff, I'll be like, I'll only see like 4 or 5 guys there, but it's like freaking 100 guys go to our church. Like I was like, how can there only be 5 guys at our men's meeting? And we'll sit there and we'll think we don't think about like this other brother might need us or something that's happened in our life could help another person out. We always get kind of hyper focused on what we got going on and we don't care about the next man a lot, so that's just what that made me think of. The essence of love is not what we think or do or provide for others, but how much we give of ourselves. The essence of love is not what we think or do or provide for others, but how much we give of ourselves. That is what the essence of love is. How much we give of ourselves. The more of me I'm willing to give to my wife, the more of me I'm willing to give to my kids, the more of me I'm willing to give to my church, the more of me I'm willing. This is how I show them I love them. I can't just go around telling them I love you, I'll pray for you, brother, and all that stuff. That's just, a lot of times we use the word I'll pray for you because we don't want to give no time for real. And that's a way to get out of giving time. Real time, to go by and see them. Men in particular, wow, what I just got through saying, often don't understand this. Many have said to me, I don't understand my wife and kids. I provide everything they need. What more do they want? They want you. Your eyes, your ears, your time, your attention, your presence, your focus, your time. Nothing can replace that. A lot of times I read as I've been really a lot more intentional with I'm a full-time artist, right? And I'm going through hey, how are you, Pussy Boots? And I definitely will put you in the prayer list as we pray out, we'll definitely put you on the prayer list. I think about my sons and my daughters, and they're always asking me, my sons, especially my middle son, my first boy, Ethan. He's always saying, Dad, come play with Ethan. Dad, play this with Ethan. Do this with Ethan. He'll come in when I'm doing videos or whatever on the computer. He'll be like, Dad, come and turn off your pewter. That's how he says it. Turn off your pewter. Come play with me. Right? Because I was in front of the computer for 2 hours making videos and stuff, trying to figure out, and so sometimes I get worried about provision and if I'm doing enough and all this kind of stuff, right? And then I'll look at the computer and I'll look at everything around me, and I'll remember this. And I'll say at the end of my life, one day I'm gonna need my son to give me his time. I'm gonna need him to love me too. I want him to see me I want him to come by and say, Daddy, how you doing, man? I'm gonna come by and pick you up, man, and because I was thinking about you. But if I don't give him that now, he ain't gonna give me that later. If I don't make time for him now, he ain't gonna make time for me then. My daughter always asking me, Dad, let's have a daddy-daughter day, and I'll stop what I'm doing. Even though I'm worried inside, I'm worried about bills. I'm worried about, like right now I gotta pay, $20,000 to get a roof, you know what I'm saying? $20,000 I don't have, but I'm gonna, I'm trusting God, And it's like, it's, all kinds of things, bills and stuff, and I'm the only one that, like my wife is, me and her are a team, so we do Rouse the World together, but I'm the one that's, I'd rather have my wife raising my kids than having them being raised by, by daycare. You get what I mean? So, but I'm worried about those things, but then I'm like, God's gonna bless me if I go and I go play, with my son, play blocks with him in the living room. If I go wrestle with him, if I go take my daughter on a bike ride and just go shoot the crap, talk about this and show her that, I know that it's going to pay off later on, you know what I'm saying, what I'm doing. And I know that God's going to provide for me, And that's the thing, if you don't have God, it's impossible. That's why you can't love without God. Because if you don't have God, think about what you're doing. You don't have God, so you really thinking you got to do everything yourself, because you really don't depend on, what else do you depend on if there's no ultimate authority to live your life by, right? If there's no order to this madness we call life, there's no structure to it whatsoever, you got to feel like it's every man for himself and it's me against the world. That's the only other option you got. So that kind of person can't love, because when it come down to them and somebody else, they're going to choose them because they only care about themselves. You can only care about you. You ain't going to give no time to somebody else. You're going to give time to somebody only if it benefits you. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, for those guys, it says nothing can replace, for us men, we're supposed to hear this today. What do our wife and kids want, right? They want you. They want you. They want you. They want your eyes. They want your ears. They want your time. They want your attention. They want your presence. They want your focus. They want your time. That nothing can replace that. I can't buy my son stuff and throw money at him. This is not an expression of love at all. The most desired gift of love is not diamonds or roses or chocolate. It is focused attention. It's funny because my wife tells me that all the time, because I was one of those guys that I always want to go. I always go. I'm in the grocery store like everybody else on Valentine's Day, going to get all this stuff, and my wife will tell me that that's not really what matters. You know what I mean? What matters is that, to her is that me and her our time together. Love concentrates so intently on another that you forget yourself at that moment. Back to how I feel about when my son asked me to play with him. Even though all this is going on around me, and part of me is afraid that I won't be able to. I need to get this work done. Golly, why don't he sit down somewhere and just watch TV or go play his game? And then part of me says, "Do you rip this? Is that how we doing this now, Harry?" And then I'll look at her and say, "Man, you know what? I'm gonna forget about me at this moment, and I'm gonna give my son the time he's asking me for." And I do that with God as well. I do that with God first and foremost, because without me doing it with God first, He's the one that taught me how to do. Because, God say, if y'all really go back to our lesson today when we were drawing, I was telling you about drawing these simple shapes, right? And how these simple shapes, once you understand them, you basically learn how to do more by doing less. And that's really what my relationship with God is. God is saying, look, you spend time with me, I'll show you how to do more by doing less. I'll show you how to provide with your family and still have a balance where you can still love your kids. I'll show you the way to do it. Stop relying on your own understanding, because God can do exceedingly and abundantly more than what we can ask or think of. There are times in my life I went through things that if I told you what I went through, you wouldn't believe that I made it out of that alive. You wouldn't believe that there was how the situation turned out in my favor. I couldn't even write the story. The story would have sounded like I made that up. I can remember once when I was a kid, my mother had a internal bleeding thing. I was going to school that morning. And my mom wasn't feeling well, and it's the first time I ever really got kind of out of line with my mom. I was scared, and I was like, Mom, you gonna go to the hospital? And I was like, darn it, and I started cursing, because I was scared something was gonna happen to her. So she went in, they found out she had internal bleeding, right? She had to be rushed into emergency surgery. I was supposed to have another brother or sister. Apparently, my stepdad did, she had got pregnant again. And so they gave her the surgery or whatever. And I can remember her coming home. And I remember one day my stepdad would stay home with her. But one morning I was like, Mom, I'll stay home with you to take care of you while instead of going to school, I'll stay home. And she was like, no, go ahead and go to school. We got it and everything. She couldn't even get out of the bed. She couldn't go to the bathroom because the surgery she had such a huge scar on her stomach. And I remember like, dang, feeling like, so I went to school and I came home that evening, and my mom walked out the door and ran up and hugged me, and I couldn't believe what happened. I was like, because my mom couldn't walk that morning. And then, right, she showed me where the scar was gone, like that was on her stomach, like she was healed from this scar. And I had never seen anything. I saw it with my own two eyes, but till today, that's why I believe God. I cannot deny what I saw literally happen with my own two eyes, right? So this is the God that I trusted and I believe in. And it allows me to love other people because I know that He is the one that's gifting me with this time that I have, and that He is the manufacturer of this. This is all. So because my source is so powerful, I'm not afraid to take some time to love my kids or to be at the men's group or to do different things, because I'm not afraid, because that dominates the minds and thoughts of an unbeliever. If you say you believe in God and you really believe, then you won't be afraid to show people love. Again, love is Time. Now, finishing up, it says, love concentrates so intently on another that you forget about yourself at that moment. Attention says, I value you enough to give you my most precious asset, my time. Whenever you give your time, you are making a sacrifice, and Sacrifice is the essence of love. God modeled this. He said, be full of love for others, following the example of Christ, who loved you and gave himself to God as a sacrifice to take away your sins. The ultimate sacrifice. You can give without loving. Let me say it again. You can give without loving, but you cannot love without giving. Listen, you can give without necessarily loving somebody, but you cannot love somebody and not give. God so loved the world that he gave. Love means giving up, yielding to my preferences, my comfort, my goals, my security, my money, my energy, my time for the benefit of someone else. That's our word of the day. The best time, or the best expression of love, is time. T-I-M-E spells love. So I'm going to go ahead, guys, and we're going to get out of here. Let's pray before we leave, and then go ahead and turn you guys over to your Saturday, right? I want to thank you, God, for everything that you've already done. I want to thank you for providing for me and my family. I want to thank you for everyone that you brought here today, that you touched their heart to come here today so that we could share your word together and we could all mutually learn from it. I thank you, God, for health. I thank you, God, for strength. I thank you, God, for food. I thank you, God, for a house. I thank you for my family. God, there's so much to be thankful for. I ask, Father, that you help us to grow in your word so that we can find out through you what our purpose is, so that we won't be afraid to love anymore. Sometimes we're afraid to love because we're so self-absorbed that we can't. So we just want to thank you for this word today. I want to pray for Puss in Boots. I don't know what the situation is going on, but I just pray for your will to be done in that situation. Because after all, this is all about your will. My prayer is that Puss in Boots receives what they're supposed to receive from the situation, what lesson is to be learned, what things are to be gained, what new dimension to be learned about oneself, that is discovered. I pray for everyone here today that their relationship again with you becomes stronger, and that my relationship with you becomes stronger. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get out of here, guys. Hey, how you doing today, Young Viper? How are you today? All right. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the art stream today. It was certainly a pleasure to be able to share with you today. Again, guys, before we leave, I just wanted to put that out there for you. Don't forget to check out our Patreon page. So if you want to support our ministry, because that's what Rouser World is. I'm not here to, this is not about me showing off to you how well I draw, because I can't take any of it with me. So out of love, I share what it took me many years to learn so that you can grow. But if you feel like you want to support our ministry, we do have a Patreon page. So if you could go over and check it out, we do have some different content that is exclusive to Patreon for you supporting us in that way. So you can go and kind of check it out. And I think our least expensive tier is like $5. It's like a $5 investment a month, or I wouldn't even say, I don't know whether they call it an investment, but I guess an investment into our ministry. Yes, it is. Also, guys, we are again looking to raise money to help to pay for this roof that we're going to be having to get. So our goal is to raise like $20,000. So we're like $20 in so far, but we are asking God to help us with that. So if you guys feel like you want to give toward that, thank you so much. We appreciate you in advance. I gave you all the information. If you want to give through our Cash App, you can give through a Cash App. You can do through any one of the videos. You can do super stickers, things like that. And then we'll just kind of keep a running tally to let you guys know where we're at in that. And then so hopefully we can go ahead and get that taken care of. So again, thank you guys for helping us in that way. Other than that, that's all I got for you guys today. You guys be blessed, and I will see you guys next time. Our next stream will be on Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. Okay? All right. Central Standard Time. All right, guys. Have a great evening.